Hello, fellow map makers. Welcome to another live map making session. I am. Hope everything's working fine. The sound is good. Thank you, Sue. Though my streaming page is a bit odd. It says a bitrate of 0, and something I can't see the chat. So, but if it's streaming fine, I'll make do. Sue can forward me anything that is of importance from the chat, any questions or so on. So, but let me know if there are any problems. And be aware I can't see the chat here at the moment, but Sue can, so we should be fine. Anyway, let's do a little bit of map making again tonight. I'm Ralph Schermann of Fantasy Software, and I'm here tonight to show you the latest style from our Cartographer's annual, the November issue. If you've got any questions during the session, as always, do put them in the chat. Even if I can't see them, Sue is there, and other people who are usually very helpful and knowledgeable. And Sue will forward me stuff to me that I might be able to answer on screen and show on screen, so everybody can learn something from tonight's map making session. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Well, what is the style I'm looking at tonight? It's the so-called satellite street style, and it was inspired by some recent maps I saw in a game I was running of basically an overlay over a standard Google type satellite terrain map, which you might see when you're looking for directions or if you're looking at the Google Earth program. And I thought that would make a very nice map if you could just create your own like that. Not a true satellite imagery, but just of stand-ins. And so create something that looks modern and as if taken from a computer screen, but completely set up to your own specs. And that made up the November issue of the Cartographer's Annual. And in addition to the mapping guide that comes with each issue, I want to show you tonight how this style works. Alright, so let's get mapping. As usual, here you see the little example map I made for the annual. This is actually based on the one that was in the role-playing adventure I was looking at, just with a little bit simpler and names changed and everything. So that's some additions also. The adventure is Convergence for the Cthulhu type role-playing game Delta Green. And if you're interested in stuff like that, it's a modern day version of the Call of Cthulhu setting where you're playing FBI agents and similar, going up against the mythos, and it very highly recommended. Check it out. It's a great game. But we are here for the maps and not for the game, so let's get going. I do click the new map icon up here on the file toolbar, and the map type is cities I'm using, and then I've got the satellite streets down here. Imperial, also feet and a meter metric version, and I'm going for this type of map for the metric version because you'll find the metric measurements on Google as well, and so we are going to go for that here at this point. And I'm just going to click next, and here I can set the size of the map, and 1000 feet by 800 is just a small area on a satellite map, but it's going to suit our needs just fine for tonight. So I leave it at that and just click finish here at that point. And I'm thinking of doing something like a little reservoir and a village or a little town around it. So let's just call it Reservoir Town. And here's our map. You'll notice that I've set up the viewing color to that little yellow color, and that's because I've got some symbols and drawing tools which use white and then they are hard to see against the white background, and especially for modern maps where that's quite often the case, I sometimes like to use not non-white background colors. This won't affect your printing or anything at all. It's just for the visibility on screen. And if you want to change that, you can always change it here from the view file, view window color, and there you can choose any of the palette colors to be your view window color. So we've got a basic bitmap fill that is taken from some amalgam of some satellite imagery and made tileable. So that can be used as the standard backdrop for anything. We've got some more bitmap files in here which you can overlay on this. We'll get to that in a bit. And but you should normally keep this as a fairly large scale fill, so it doesn't get repeated too often. Otherwise the repetitions will be quite apparent. You can also already see here in the background that we do have tiling. You see this pattern here with the darker stripe going on the lighter dot here. It's repeated up here. So it's if you take a look, you can see it, but since we will be adding stuff, this will not be very apparent later. Alright, so what do I want to do first? I do want to do a bit of the general landscape layout. I was thinking about a reservoir, and so this is what I'm going to add first. And for that I'm going to go to the all drawing toolbar buttons and click that, and then scroll down and to look for my terrain tools. We've got them here, and here's the cat coming in. Hi Asa. And then I'm going to pick the terrain water tool, and I'm going to start drawing in my reservoir. I'm going to start outside here, and then just basically assume a valley here that has been dammed up. And then if I'm thinking of the dam somewhere here, that will be a bit of a straight section. And if you do want to put in a straight section on a curved polygon like this, it is best you just can click several times in the same spot, and that will make the corner. Oh, actually, what I can do is, yeah, let's show that properly. Zoom in a bit and undo a bit, because we've got a corner function on the drawing tool. So I'm just going to click here, press C. Does that work? Oh, not sure it actually works. Okay. No, it does not. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my actual method here I was using. Do I need to click that repeatedly? No. I see. No. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying out the tool there. I haven't used the corner tool in quite a while. And that didn't quite work. Let's see whether I can repeat that. So, C. Ah, yes, I do need to press C and then click, and that gives me the corner. Okay, got it now. So I'm going to first draw my outline until I'm getting to the dam I want to do. So I'm going to do C here, click then the point where I want my corner to be, do C again, click again, and then fill up the rest of my reservoir. Going to go a little bit outside the map border, so any sheet effects get applied outside there and not visible on the edge here. Otherwise, if I attach the water directly to the drawing, the map border, you would see this dark outline here And there, by going beyond the border, it's hidden behind the screen. And here I've got my little reservoir and the dam where the water is stopped. All right, so I've got that down, and then of course a reservoir like that would usually be surrounded by hills, because you'd dam a river flow there, and then the water would fill up the valley, and so I do need to put a little bit of hills around this. And hills on a satellite map like this would normally be visible as shadows, and we do have a hill drawing tool for that. So I'm going to go into the old drawing tools again, grab the hill, and then I'm going to just draw a little bit of a hill shape around the reservoir to show the shadows around that. My recommendation for hill shapes like this is to make them nice and visible. Do put in quite a lot of curves, and this way you can see here the sun is set to, the light direction is set to be from the top left, and you can quite nicely see the hill shapes in here. Again, draw the hills a little bit outside of the map border, so the sheet effects apply nicely across the border. Here I'm going to put in the hills again, and then here I'm going to go beyond the map border, draw a little bit outside, right click to finish, and there's my hill shapes. And in the same way I can add a few more hills, especially here in the northern section of the map. To show a bit of a elevation in the terrain that way. Go, and perhaps a little bit more here. All right, very nice. So, and then I do want to, I want to create a road that's running a little bit along the southern third of the map here, and then add some buildings and houses alongside that with some side streets and stuff. So let's have a look what we have for roads. We do have the road drawing tools up here. I don't want to just grab the default road. I'm going to right click to see what I have. Okay, Zeus suggests to zoom in a bit, and that makes sense. I'll do so in a second as soon as I know where I'm drawing the road. So I'm going to grab the default road tool here, and then zoom into the southern half of the map, and my road's gonna run here between those two hills, and then just off to the side here. There we are. And if I zoom in, you can see that the drawing tool adds a dashed line in the middle of the road to show that's a little bit of a larger one with 2 lanes. We also have roads that have narrow, which don't have with the lines or no lines, and quite a few different varieties of road. It's also a way to, unfortunately not in one line, but you can make highways this way just by adding several lines of these next to each other, and then putting a road bed underneath. But here I do want to stick with the one single lane road, basically. Okay, so this is the main road. I want to add a few connecting ones. So first off, roads in a similar size, and I just want to connect one here that runs off to the south, and then perhaps a narrow road that runs north past the reservoir. Exiting on the north edge of the map. If I zoom in closely, you notice that the street lines markings don't quite actually show correct versions how markings on a street would be. But if you basically the map is not set up to be precise at that scale, you won't get street level battle maps from this or anything. Of course, if you want to, you can go in and edit these lines to make them match expectations of a side road coming into a main one or something like that. But I'm not going to bother about this in this case here. So this defines the general layout area here of my map. And I'm thinking my town is going to go here in this area. I'm already thinking of a nice action or scenario where the dam is threatening to burst or something like that. So that might be an interesting scenario for a game. But let's do, next step is I'm going to add the main grid of the roads for the village or the town. And there I'm just going to go for the narrow road without the lines and create that by going here, a side road connecting to the main road here again. Oh, actually, do I have the markings on there? I thought I grabbed the road without the markings. Did I pick the wrong one, or is the setting wrong? Let's have a look. Let's undo this. Right click the road again. Road, no markings. Yeah, I did grab the narrow one again. So let's go for the no markings road. And the cat is here, trying to get on my lap. Hi, Asa. Say hi. Alright, so I'm going to connect this with the F9 key to the road here. And then just draw the road all the way to this side here. And then I'm going to take the narrow road version. No, I didn't. Narrow, no markings version. There we are. And do a connecting road here to that street. And then connect a couple roads this way. And then even over one like this, and this can be the main grid of our little village. And now we can take a look, or we can add later streets at any time, but for now let's have a quick look and see how large a building would be if I grab that here and place that. See, this is the default symbols here. If I expand the options, you see that there's quite a few different symbols. These are edited ones from City Designer, basically simplified, and the varicolor version to match a modern type map. And yeah, we can, if you pick these as such, it will grab a random one from the selection, but you can of course also cycle through the different ones, though they are a bit hard to see here. And if you click it, you can set the distance to the map. And then, actually I didn't want to take the white one here. If I want a different color, I just grab a color from the palette. You'll notice that the palette has quite a few very muted color choices. That's because so the colors of buildings and stuff match terrain, natural terrain quite well, the satellite imagery. Go. And there's our map out there. We can also have a look, try out a street tool here. Let's grab the default street tool. Because this is by standard voice the metric version, the F version of the tool here, to CA215F, is the feet version, the imperial one. So let's grab this street tool, pick the street command, click a street, pick a side, and just add a few houses alongside there. And see, it does random colors on the street and looks okay. So we've got a nice selection there. We'll see that extends a little bit too far on that little lane. We can always do stuff like move, select by prior, that selects both of the buildings. Steve would do it, move them a bit, and there's the house off from the road again. And we can also, of course, just grab the house tool here. There's my house tools with all the different colors here. Same thing again. CA215 is the magic version and CA215F is the feet version. And so let's pick a green roof, for example, choose the house shape. Here you can change the different roof types, insert, and then you draw the house individually. That's the shape. Now this is obviously buildings on vegetation, on green area, on gardens and stuff like that. You might want to have for a center of town something like a supermarket would obviously be surrounded by paved over areas. So let's say I wanted to add a supermarket here alongside the main road. So I'm now gonna click the house tool, gonna go for the white roof and choose a flat roof shape. There's the big flat roof. Let's keep the shape, insert, and then I'm just going to make a fairly large building here. Extend it, and there's a large flat roof building. And now I do want to add a paved over area around that. For that I'm just going to click here, road background area, and then I can use the roads as guidelines. Oops, that was the wrong one. There we go. Let's just put it up to here. F9, F9. There we go. And that's going to put a paved in area. And if you want to add something more like a parking lot or so, basically that's the same fill style as the roads. We can also grab the road area here and then just, for example, do this. And on this side here, refresh, and you'll see we have these road areas filled in. If you wanted to go even further, you could now put in road markings for the parking spaces and so on. But as I said, that's really beyond the style to go into that kind of detail, and I'm not going to do that here. So that's nice. So then again, I want to add perhaps a petrol station, gas station on the other side of the road here. So I'm going to go in, grab again keep the flat roof, but perhaps want to choose a different type of building, for example the grey building with a dark roof. So, and this time I'm going to use the just rectangular shape. So I'm going to put in the building here, then a rectangular one here, and then I'm gonna go in and let's do the road first. I can also do this with the roads no markings. Connect this to this road. So this is the roof over part of the gas station, and then the road joins the main road here. So it looks good, and then I do want to put the background area behind that. Just do the same thing as above. I might even keep a little bit of a green space here. And there's my gas station. It looks pretty good. So let's continue with a few more buildings here. So we might want a little church for our town. Let's go with a red. Grab the church. Put that on. If you hover the mouse over the road, it will align the building to the road, and you can then adjust that in the distance to that. Let's put in the. Okay, now I'm a bit confused. It's because I was still in the drawing tool before. When I picked up the house, when I then finished the drawing tool, I switched it back to the blue color. So let's undo that, or I can just change color. And let's do it like this. Okay. Yes, I've got the zoo just notifies me that the buildings are mapped on the wrong side. Yes, that's probably because I picked the baselines for these from City Designer on a version where the shadows are the wrong side on the buildings. And there's a way to flip that, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. I should go back to that and fix that. I'll do that in the next few days to flip shading. Also reminds me, let's have a look whether that works or whether that flips the buildings as well. It does flip the buildings as well. That's the problem here. It does need to be fixed in the catalog. So I can't do that right here now. That's something I overlooked when putting the symbols together, and I'm going to fix in an upcoming update to the style. All right, so that's the church, and let's go into red roof here, and let's put in a nice town hall or something here on this. Actually, no, that's not how I wanted to put it. Let's do it this way. Yeah, that's good. You can always add little add-ons to a building like this. So, for example, if you wanted to an entranceway here, something like that, that is also a little bit extended from the house. You can go into the house tool, grab the extra extension here, insert, first click a point within the house, ideally on the point you want to connect it to. There we are. Then pick the house edge, then the little extension, the width, and there's the shape added to the house. Right, so let's grab the street again, grab the street here, add a few houses here and here. Let's just put in a few quickly. Normally I'd probably go in and make sure to make these a little bit more individual. But for this session here, that should be fine. Okay, I'm noticing a little bit some of the buildings are probably too small for the side, for the width of the extensions there. No matter, let's just remove that here for now. Grab one of the symbols, put that there instead. So let's say we wanted to add a bit of a park area or something. Let's see what we've got in the way of other terrain tools. We've got fields here, and we've got some vegetation woods, which would be nice for a park. So let's see if I just F5, 5, trace existing lines. That should work as well. It does. And trace this one here all the way to here. There we are. And there we've got a little bit of a park area. You can put in some paths inside this. So let's have a look. We do have a brown path tool here. And we can use this. I'm using the bitmap interior here as a rough guide where a path might go. There we are. Okay, so I've noticed that the woods is the terrain feature is above the roads tool, but we can change that and just move the woods section. That's where my bitmap fill is located up. So I get these, and I do see that the little paths are on the same sheet as the road and therefore overlap them here at the point, which I don't quite like. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use send to back, select the two paths, and then they are nicely behind the gray of the roads, and that is nice. I might even want to add a little bit of a pool here in the park, and there I can just go in, grab the terrain water tool, add this, and there we go. And the water is also below those terrain tools, so I'm just going to move that water down, and there's the pools in there. If you want to pick out some special trees and highlight them a little bit more with shadows and stuff, you can grab the vegetation trees tool, define the size for your tree, and put these in as individual pieces. And you'll see there I've got a little drop shadow and stuff, and you can pick them out a little more. So there's our little park opposite of the church. And I'm going to do a few more larger buildings with the flat roofs here along the road. And here we are. Let's grab the grey roof, but the main section there, and let's do a little bit with an extension. There we go. And then one, let's grab a just rectangular one and put that here. And then to intermix these a little bit, I'm going to grab the white roof, also with the flat roof version. So there's probably some commercial buildings here on the street. And then let's add a little bit blue roofs, a little bit of variation in here. There's one, another one here, one down here, and then for perhaps some brown ones with a simple shape, some sheds and workshops and stuff down here. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of backgrounds, because these areas will probably not sit on grassy lawns, instead on paved up areas. So I'm just gonna outline these generally, connect the areas to the road. There we are. And I think I do need a little bit of buildings up here. So I'm gonna grab some green roofs. Or even again, pick the street tool to add some random buildings here. Of course, if we've got overlaps like this, we can just delete the ones we've added. Yeah. A couple more here. One here. Then I'm gonna build up a little bit more. Build up areas. Now modern towns, we've got way too much paved space anyway. So this is probably even a bit idealized with the amount of paved areas in here. There we are. And then if I want to go ahead, and I can go and pick some driveways. We should have a driveway. There's a driveway tool here to connect the buildings to the street. Of course, I'm just placing them by hand mostly, but I can also use the F9 tool to connect them to the street as such. And you can see I can build the driveways here. If I wanted to be more realistic with a modern American rural area town or something, I would obviously add more stuff like garages and sheds and trees alongside the buildings and stuff. So this is not a very realistic American town layout or satellite view, but it does for my purposes here. And you can see how you could add extra buildings alongside the ones. So if, for example, if you wanted to build a say a little outside house here, you could just grab the simple shapes, choose your type of roof you want to do, insert, and if you want to connect it to the house, you can do stuff like F9, align this to the house here, connect that there, and there's our extension to the house, even if in a different roof color, and build up more complex shapes like that. I did want to put a little bit of background area here in front of the church. And there we are. And this is how the town is starting to take shape. Obviously, we would go in and add additional buildings and houses a little off from the village. So, for example, if we had a farm somewhere here, I could go in, grab the house, just the brown roof with the angled rooftop, and let's grab a L-shaped building, place that here. There's our main building, and then just some smaller ones. There we are. Grab the no markings tool for the road. Put that in here. And then we could do stuff like adding a field bitmap fill to the area. Trace the road. And there we've got a different background with some field satellite pictures taken and made into tileable areas. All right, and then I would probably see what I do about the reservoir here. We would probably, I'm thinking I should probably add a little bit something indicating the wall, so I could put in a bit of the hill here actually. Let's have a look whether that works, whether it looks okay. That's something at least. And then I'd go in and add the road. Coming from here, running up to the reservoir area. Probably adding a bit of background area. Probably some utility buildings underneath the dam here. So let's grab the white roof with the flat roof type. Add this here. And again a bit of the one-lane road. And there we've got a utility area for the reservoir. And got another section of the town added. We might even add a few more one-lane roads here. Like this. And there we are. Connecting this. Going off to the side, and we can also add stuff like woods with our terrain tools in here. So have a look here. It's the fields, and there we've got the forest. The woods I used for the park already, so I'm just grabbed some woods here for now. Oops, that was a misclick. So I'm just gonna have the road here run to a little bit of woods. Again, I'm going to draw a little bit outside of the map border there. And again, you can I could just trace the water area here a little bit, and I can just draw this over the hillsides, and the shading should still be visible on top of the first area. There we are. A little bit of extra pieces here. And there we've got some wooded area on the side of the reservoir. And then probably some larger fields area off to the side as we go. Let's grab the field texture here. See how that looks. There we are. There we've got some fields texture. I would probably go in and do some subdivisions on that normally, but for now let's just use like this. And then we can go in and add some farms here alongside the road. With the orange roof for a change here. Blue roof, rectangle with the angled roof. There we go. And again, add some driveways and one-lane roads. You can use, if you want to, the little paths from the bitmap texture as a guide, or here for the actual paths I'm drawing on the map. This way you make use of the texture. Actually, I should have put in a corner there. I can still do this afterwards by inserting nodes. And this way. And then I'm going to again send this path to the back so it doesn't overlap the street here. There we are. And then I would start thinking about doing labels for the map. Here I'm going to show you my little trick for city labels again, to make nicely labeled lists or keys, map keys for the buildings. So let's have a look. Let's switch. Let's make sure we've finished our drawing tool first. Then I'm going to switch to white as the color for my text. I'm going to put the text on the sheet, on the layer text labels. Sheet's going to get selected automatically for the text. So let's say one. So this is the supermarket, and I put the number in there. And actually, I'm going to put, because if I want to go above 10. For the sorting algorithm, it's better if we put in a 0 in there. So, and make sure you've got that set to center alignment. So M for mid and C for center. So my insertion point is exactly in the middle of the text. And then I'm just going to put where I want the number to be later. So this is the supermarket. I'm going to do to gas station. If I could type correctly, there we go. Put this here. And let's say 0. What else do we put in here? So let's put in the drugstore. Then we're going to put in the church. Then I'm going to put in the town hall. And here I'm not going to bother about the text being overlapping with the church there. I'm just going to ignore that for now. And so perhaps we've got the important guys, Mayor's Villa. Oops. Up here. Then we've got the 7 reservoir utility. Farm. With some villas. Farm. I just want to go above 10 to show you. So what else do we need? We could use the what else? Also we did the park. And farm. And 11 for what else? The Granville farm. There we are. We've got everything labeled that we want on the map. And now I'm going to go into the city. Oh, what I do need is a grid on the map. Oops, misclick. So I'm going to go city. Create, no, not the grid index. First need to create a grid overlay. And I do want a square grid with 50 feet, 50 meters. The grid is fine. And I want letter labels in the X direction and numbers starting with 1 in the Y direction. I don't need to reset my snap grid. So I'm just going to go apply. Okay, that's a bit annoying that it goes beyond the map here. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to draw X or square overlay. I can just do the same from here. And I'm going to select the points. And then I'm going to start here. And down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of that to black so I can actually see the letters on here. And now I'm going to add my index. So I'm going to go city, create index, and what do I want index? I want to add text. Well, it seems everything's selected that I want, so I'm just going to do it, and I want just one column, and going to put the index up here. There we go. And this is on the wrong sheet because I was on the road sheet and the index is not automatically placed on the text sheet. So what I'm just going to do is move to sheet, prior, and it's going to go on the text sheet. There we are. Now we can probably read it and you can see all the connections here. One supermarket with the naming and everything, and we can just jump there. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to use extract properties on this here, so I'm on the correct layer, freeze everything else, and now I'm just going to go through the labels. Why did we pick the building here? That's because it's a group, and groups can be picked up even if everything else is frozen. So what I need to do is unlock the group. It doesn't count one, and it should now not be pickable. So edit, grab the label, remove everything but the number, do all that for all the labels. There we go. Okay, there's something went wrong there. I think the color got accidentally changed when I changed the color of the grid. So let's change that back to white. There we are. And this way you're just leaving the numbers on the map here. I could also remove the zeros at this point if I wanted to, but I'm not going to bother about that now. Church, Sherman Farm, come on, and the Granville Farm. To refresh, done everything. Yeah, and this way I just have the numbers sitting in the exact same spot I've placed the text, and I can just refer either see here 5, what is that? And if I look on the grid, it's the town hall. And if I want to jump to the mayor's villa, I can just click that and it will take me to the spot on the map. And there we've got a nice little map down. I might want to add a map text title to that. For that, I can go into the map interior symbols, grab the symbol for that. Oh, actually, it goes on the map border sheet, but no problem. We can change that in a sec. Place this and call this reservoir town. There we are. Move that a little bit to the map. And it's on the just white, no outline or anything, because on the map border sheet. But if we want to have the same effect on it as on the other text, I can just move it to the text sheet. There we are. And that's how the map looks if we're just using 1 quick hour to create a map like this. And I'm quite happy with how that turned out for the hour of work we put into it. So I'm gonna do a little fix to the map, so probably tomorrow, just if you've got it already downloaded, just re-download and reinstall, and it should fix the wrongly shaded buildings from the symbol set. And I can also just upload the symbol set to the thread, or the video thread in the forum, if you want to grab it from there. All right. And that's it for tonight. Hope you liked it, and see you again next week. Sorry not being able to respond directly for the chat. I just can't see it here at the moment. My web page for the live stream is a bit screwed, and I didn't want to try to reload everything in fear of messing even more up. So we had to do it this way. Thank you very much. All the best. Have a good night, and bye-bye.